Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate and today's video is very important because I'm going to be talking to you about every single book that is on my physical TBR. Yeah, there is a lot, probably over 100 if we're being honest, so let's go ahead and get started. The first genre I have for you is nonfiction, and I only have one book in this genre, and that is Britney Spears' memoir. Next, we're going to be talking about classics, literary fiction, and historical fiction. The reason why I'm doing all these together is because some of these can fit all three categories, I'm pretty sure. First of all, the ones I know for sure are classics. We have The Catcher in the Rye. We have Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Little Women. For some more literary fiction, we have The Secret History. This is actually dark academia, but, you know, same thing, whatever. Then we have A Little Life. Then we have Pineapple Street. The Griffin Sisters' Biggest Hits. Then this one I'm really excited for. We have The Favorites. Now a little Frederick Bachman moment. We have My Friends, first book in the Beartown trilogy, which is Beartown, and then the last book in the Beartown trilogy, which is The Winners. Some historical fictions. We have The Invisible Woman, Summer Sisters, Hang the Moon, have The Nightingale, The Four Winds, Summer Island. Forgot to mention, since I'm not totally finished with this book, we have The Bell Jar. We have mystery thrillers. First, we're going to start with YA mystery thrillers, and our first one we have is the final book in the Natural series, which is Bad Blood. Then we have the entire A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. Lastly, for YA thrillers, we have The Party. I'm very excited for this one, and it is on my July TBR. Now for adult mystery thrillers, I first have A Broken Country. I know this one can be classified as a romance, but I'm putting it in this pile. Book A Woman Missing, Then She Was Gone, The Crash by Frida McFadden, The Guest List. Now it's time to talk about my personal favorite, romance. And first, we're going to go through all the romance standalones I have. Starting up, we have the Setup. I actually got this in a blind date with a book one time. Near Misses and Cowboy Kisses, Love Theoretically, Love at First Book, Good Material, The 7-Year Slip, The Rule Book, One Last Shot, Summer in the City, Atmosphere, Great Big Beautiful Life, Funny Story, The Conditions of Will, Deepened, Check-in Mate, Love on the Brain, After I Do, and finally, One True Loves. Now we have all this series, and I'm going to give you the ones that I only have one book in, or to like start the series or to finish it. And first we have A Wild Side. This is the third book in the Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver. Last book in the Magnolia Park series, and this is Into the Dark. The second book to If He Had Been With Me. We have the first book, The Deal in the Off-Campus series. We have Holding the Reins, which now for series I'm currently in the middle of. Last two books in the Rebel Blue Ranch series, we have Wild and Wrangled and Lost and Lassoed. Then we have the last two books in the Ruinous Love trilogy. We have Leather and Lark and Scythe and Sparrow. Last two books in the Twisted series, we have Twisted Hate and Twisted Lies. Two books in the Maple Hill series, that is Daydream and Wildfire. Then I have the entire Gold Rush Rant series. We have Off to the Races, A Photo Finish, The Front Runner, and A False Start. Next I have this entire trilogy by Abby Jimenez. It's Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and Just for the Summer. I have the last four books in the Boys of Tommen series. We have Saving 6, Redeeming 6, Taming 7, and Releasing 10. So it's safe to say I definitely struggled getting all these books down, but the first ones we're going to start with is my fantasy books, and first we're going to start with adult fantasy and ones that I only have one of the book, like it's a standalone or just one in the series. And so that is this entire stack right here. First, I have Sword Catcher, I have Wayward, Rule of the Aura King, When the Moon Hatched, Phantasma, Bride, The Bridge Kingdom, Guild, Assistant to the Villain, Ruthless Fae, and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Now for adult fantasy series that I have more than one book. First, we have the last three books in the ACOTAR series. We have A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and then A Court of Silver Flames. I have the first two books in the Throne of Glass series. I have The Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass. I have the first two books in the Empyrean series. I have Fourth Wing, and Iron Flame. Crowns of Nyaxia series, I have The Serpents and the Wings of Night, the novella that comes in between, Six Scorched Roses, and lastly, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. That same process, but with my YA fantasy. First, we have books that I only have one book in this series, or it's just a standalone. First, we have The Courting of Bristol Keats, Ignite Me, third book in the Shatter Me series. On my July TBR, we have The Rose Bargain. Also on my July TBR, we have Twilight, The Hazelwood, Red Queen. The second book in the Crimson Moth duology, we have Rebel Witch. One thing about me is I'm a sucker for a box set of books, and you're kind of gonna see that theme here. So let's get into all the YA series that I have. First, let's start with the Twin Crown series. We have Twin Crowns in Cursed Crown.
The last two books in
the last two books in the Remnant Chronicles, we have The Heart of Betrayal and we have The Beauty of Darkness. Last two books in the Folk of the Air trilogy, we have The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing. Next, the first two books in the Lightlark saga, we have Lightlark and Nightbane. We have the entirety of the Caraval trilogy. We have Caraval, Legendary, and Finale. First two books in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After. We have the Letters of Enchantment duology, we have Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. Now the Belladonna trilogy, I don't know if this has an alternate name or not, but we have Belladonna, Foxglove, and Wisteria. Now for the very last things on my TBR, we have the last three books in the In Ember and the Ashes quartet. We have A Torch Against the Night, Reaper at the Gates, and A Sky Beyond the Storm. Thank you so much for watching me show you all of the books on my TBR, and there's a lot of them, that's for sure. I am not going to count them because I don't even want to know, but if you want to count them, you can go ahead, but I do not feel like doing that because there's books quite literally all over my floor. But thank you so much for watching. Again, I am Kate, and stay if you want to, subscribe, like if you want to, and thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.